Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, and like I said yesterday, comic reviews were supposed to be up yesterday, but when I came home the power was out. So I ended up going to see Knives Out instead, and so comic reviews are today. And I'm trying to be in order of when the books came out. So it's like X-Men, Excalibur, and now we're doing and Marauders. Actually, it's X-Men, Marauders, Excalibur, and New Mutants. Um, so New Mutants number 2 just came out yesterday, and man, it's crazy how divided. We also got the Art Adams variant, who I'm sorry, but I love this. I miss Warlock. I know some people don't like him, but I like weird characters. I like Warlock a lot. Um, Hopefully someday we get him back in some form. But New Mutants number 2 came out yesterday, and like I said, I'm surprising to see how quickly everybody is tallying up their favorites and books that they're already getting rid of and things like that. I love the X-Men. I've been going back to my local graham crackers in DeKalb, just kind of raiding their long boxes for old X-Men stuff. Um, so I have history with the New Mutants. Not the biggest as other people, but I seem to know a lot more about them than some of the people that I talk to about comics. And so I can usually look past it because I love it so much. I don't, I don't talk about it as maybe some people do. Maybe I don't look at it, like maybe I blind myself a little bit to some of the things that other people find distasteful or they just don't like. Um, but there are some problems with this book. But again, um, especially because like Hickman writing it, some people don't like the art. I don't know what it is, but I actually like it. I don't mind this art for the most part. There's some character stuff in here, like Sunspot and his basically breaking the fourth wall this whole time is a little bothersome to me. And as a character, like I said, he's an a-hole. But him and Sam have been friends for a long time. But I don't remember him being this big of an a-hole in the original New Mutants run. I remember when Sunspot left because he couldn't handle being around Cable and where they were headed. Um, Mostly, I think, kind of because he's a billionaire. Um, he, and he didn't like kind of like what that was going to do to him. And this is like in the late '80s, early '90s. These days, Robert DaCosta has been like a corporate mogul with the Secret Warriors and stuff like that. And I don't know, he's just not a very relatable character. He's always talking above his friends, like looking down on them. He's very confident, um, but that doesn't make the book unreadable. And the same thing is like they're kids, and why they're making some of these decisions. I am trying to still trust Hickman with it because he says that this book is pivotal, and I can start to see some of that in here. In fact, this book made me realize a few things. I do know who Kelly Thompson is. The one who's doing Deadpool now. On my Deadpool review, I was like, I don't even know if I remember her. Well, this issue made me remember who Kelly Thompson is because I needed to do some research on a character that I was wondering if this was a callback to something that might have seemed unimportant at the time, and would Hickman be acknowledging the past, even if it is the recent past? And he did. And that's how some of this stuff is going to be talked about. Now, they're in space jail. They do a long recap. I opened up this book. I'm like, that's a lot of words. So they take up 2 pages to do a recap, which I wasn't that big of a fan of. Well, I mean, kind of where they are now and everything. I mean, we do get to know some little bits of information. That is, Ronnie Wolfsbane took the egg from Mondo, and the Starjammers have like an empty vessel. Why they did this, I don't really know. But I remember the last time there was an egg, the character of Xandra came out of it, I believe. If we're still on that if that's how Xandra came to be. Now that made me have to look up where I thought I remembered seeing Xandra, and if I was remember, I knew that there was a Shi'ar kid that came out of an egg that was Charles Xavier and Lalandra's daughter. Yeah, and it came out of Mr. and Mrs. X, one of my favorite books, written by Kelly Thompson. I like this book. You don't have to like it. I love Rogue. I love Gambit. Everybody knows I love Gambit. So I loved this book, but I also thought it was a really interesting story talking about how Charles and Lalandra, this kid out there, that's now like being trained to take over the Shi'ar Empire. And that gets acknowledged and is going to be a big part of this book. So that's why one of the reasons why this book is important. It's talking about something that I was wondering how they were going to deal with in the future, or if they were going to deal with it. So Hickman is acknowledging past stuff. He's building off of that. The fact that they have Rango as their lawyer is weird. And that Space Court is pretty similar to ours. Fine, whatever. But yeah, I mean, this is Rango. He's playing a part. But we do get character stuff in here with Sam back here. The stuff with the dad bod, like, some people were talking about how Sunspot's talking about Sam's dad's bod. He's projecting because he doesn't want, again, it speaks to Sunspot's character as just how he looks at his friends. I mean, are they even his friends? I know they have history, but he sees Sam doing well, and he's upset about it. And it's true to the character. Whether we like that or not, that's, up for you to decide. Like, if that makes you go, I don't want to read this. Because I know people that are like this. Friends that are just kind of like, how are you even friends? But they get convicted and are found guilty by Shi'ar laws because they don't recognize anybody from any other space's laws. If you're here, you break the law. You suffer our consequences. But Sam's wife, what is that? A super guardian? Nice original name, right? Super guardian smasher. They're going through the motions to get them out of it. She does what a lot of people wanted to do, which is like punch him in the face, Sunspot in the face. Because they're kind of interrupting their life. Sam was fine. Sam was happy. Sam wanted a wife and a kid, and he's got it, and now they're here. And while he's happy to see them, it kind of feels like, hey man, do you think I'm just going to leave to come back? This could have been a storyline from a long time ago, actually. Well, not that long ago. We get a pretty much pointless white page here about their court stuff. It holds like pretty much nothing but exposition that they have to be held with Sam for the rest of their sentence, which is life. But Smasher gets a message from Gladiator. Gladiator is basically Superman. He's like one of the most powerful characters, like regular. It's not a god in the Marvel Universe. He's a badass. He was just, he's in Old Man Quill. He was in Old Man Quill. Like, his fate in that world. But here's another thing that could be one of the keys to what Hickman's talking about it being integral to the whole thing, is the Shi'ar Imperial Advisors. One of them is Oracle. And Oracle is a precog, which we know Charles and Moira and Magneto, well, at least Moira doesn't want any precogs around. So we get close to these characters, that's one step closer to a precog somehow getting back to Krakoa. I'm just saying. And so they want Smasher to go and execute this plan immediately. And then we just kind of get this, this is the parts where the story kind of just doesn't do anything for me. It's them hanging out, being kids, not understanding space cards, just kind of punching at each other and stuff and joking around with things that I just, the writing is how kids would probably talk, but I I feel like it really doesn't. Part of it is playing catch up. Part of it is trying to, Sam trying to understand Cypher's role in all of this and how he's on the council and Sunspot's not. It's like he brings up something that he knows will bother him, you know. But they get to where they need to go, and this is where I started to do my research, where we find Zandra here being unprepared to rule, and that Gladiator has sent them out to find the person that's going to train her to rule on the throne. Um, and so who do they send the New Mutants and Smasher and Sam to go find? None other than Lady Deathbird, who is she's got a great design. I love her design of this character, and she is a bad guy. She's a bad character. She's the one on the outs of the family, Lalandra's sister. So they sent them to get her to help train Zandra, and I can see where this is all headed. Since it's going to be a whole thing where it ends up looking like Sunspot, like in that foreshadowing book, that Sunspot ends up on the throne somehow, with Gladiator kneeling before him. How all that comes to be, I don't know. I still think that the book is fine. There is some cringy moments to it, but I still trust Hickman and the journey that we're going on. And maybe I don't always like the direction and some of the dialogue and the character choices, but they're true to the characters. They are true to the characters. Sunspot is an a-hole in every book. Sam is the one who forgives him. Sam's the one who puts up with it. He's the aw shucks guy. And right now there really wasn't a lot of development. There's just some forward moving and some parts, like I said, bringing up Zandra from Mr. and Mrs. X is a pretty big thing. And like I said, Oracle being a precog is something to keep an eye on. So I don't know where I rank this. In fact, I don't really know where I rank any of the books except X-Force is on the top. X-Force is on the top. Fallen Angels and Excalibur is kind of right there for me. And I know everybody really loved X-Men #2, but I just found some of that dialogue to be just so, it dragged the story down to a level that, while I love the world building in that book and the stuff with Apocalypse, but we're getting off topic. We're talking about New Mutants. I could just start going and going and going, where it's like, if I haven't read X-Force #2 yet, so I'm about to. So I need to stop talking and get to reading. So this book is fine. Just like X-Men #2, some cringy dialogue, but great world building and great things that can come up later on. Again, if we were talking about issue number 10 of the New Mutants and we were still talking about this, like nothing really was happening yet, like major, we're building it all. Just like House of X and Powers of 10 was set up, now we're starting our journeys into Dawn of X. And so while I see people going, well, this book is done, and this book is done, and this book is done, I say issue number 2 is too early. I say issue 3, 4, and 5 are still too early. You get around issues 6 through 10 and you don't start seeing something, then yeah. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents on it. So if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that rigmarole. Otherwise, this is Rob at Smirking and Review saying I'm putting this up on Thanksgiving, so I don't expect a lot of views, a lot of people to really check it out unless they need a break from the holidays. But otherwise, we've got X-Force #2, Fallen Angels #2, Venom #20, the Irishman review is also coming. So have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.